All right, welcome back to West Side Kitchen. Today I decided that I really wanted to do some sort of a seafood. So Dan likes salmon, I really wanted scallops, so that's what I'm making today.
All right, so you put the paper towel on the scallop to dry it out. What that's going to do, that's going to help you get a good, nice sear on the scallop.
Because scallops hold moisture, and you want to get that off. So what I did was I actually kept one scallop to show you that when you grab a scallop, they have these things, it's called a mussel on here. It's rectangular. It's a tissue. It's like a hard tissue that's on top, or I'm sorry, on the side of a scallop. So you just want to peel that part of it off just like this. You don't want to eat that because it's tough. So I just wanted to show you that one little piece.
The other thing is you never want to season them before they go in the pan.
Yes. Usually if you want to season them before the pan, don't use salt, just use pepper. Salt will bring out the moisture, and then it's going to get dry, and it's going to get, it's going to get nice and rubbery. You don't want that. I wouldn't say nice. Actually, it would be really rubbery.
Okay. You ready to do this?
Yes.
I'm hungry.
Okay. But before I do that, I'm actually going to make a jasmine rice. It's going to have some fresh ginger that I actually kept for about a good month in the freezer, peeled. I have some cilantro that we had left over. Some fresh chopped garlic, some scallions also cut up, and some lime juice. So that we're gonna make a cilantro, garlic, ginger, jasmine rice. I'm also gonna have a side of haricot vert or green beans, some cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes, and some onion as well. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of butter to a hot pan, and just a little bit of a vegetable oil and olive oil mixture, just a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to saute.
So that's good. You use the butter and the oil, the butter for the flavor.
Yes, and the oil so then it also doesn't burn. And I also like olive oil because it has a flavor, but it also has a high heat. It doesn't have a high heat content, but I do it for the flavor. So yes, there's butter for fat, oil, olive oil, just kind of a little bit of each.
And you could always use that in any kind of mixture when you're cooking. All
right, so I'm going to add in the ginger, fresh ginger. As much ginger as you like. I love ginger, so it doesn't mean anything to me. Then I'm going to also add in, at the same time, just a little bit of this garlic because I'm also going to need it for my green beans.
It smells great already.
Yeah, such a great mixture. So turn it to like a medium-low. Also going to add in some of the green onion. Actually, all the green onion as well. You just want to saute that up just for a few minutes before you actually add in your rice and your water. Because you don't want to have raw. You want it to be, a little bit...
subtle flavor.
Yeah. Just kind of bring out all the oils.
Very aromatic.
Yes. So it's nice and pretty. Because it's also going to be cooking in the rice for about 15 to 18 minutes. So you probably cook this for about 3 or 4 minutes, depending on how much you have. I'm only doing 1 cup of rice. All right, so what I'm going to do now is, since it looks nice and aromatic, like Dan said, I'm going to add in the rice. The 1 cup of rice. Stir it up just a little bit to incorporate it. So it looks really pretty.
Yeah, it looks great already.
Yeah. Then I'm going to add in the 1.5 cups of water. So what I'm going to do is kind of stir it together just for a couple seconds, just so it kind of incorporates and it's evenly coated on the bottom of the pan or pot, whatever you're using. After this, you take your lid and you place it on top. You put the heat on, probably about medium-high until it starts to boil. Once it starts to boil, then you turn it down on low and you cook it for 15 to 18 minutes.
Is that what you're doing?
That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
That's right.
All right.
All right now. Okay, so in the meantime that the rice is cooking, ahead of time, I'm going to blanch or partially cook the green beans because I'm going to do a 2-part cooking process. So I'm going to blanch it so it's going to get a nice green color. So I'm going to So I'm going to put it in salted water. Just for probably about a few minutes until it gets a nice, really pretty green color. Okay, so now I'm going to be taking the green beans off. They have this really nice, bright, vibrant green color right now. They're just a little bit cooked, but not fully cooked. Because again, I'm going to saute them as well. So 2 cooking methods. So you take them off of the out of the pot, off the oven, or the stove, and you're going to just strain them and then cool them down because you don't want them to continue to cook because you're going to use that for later.
So you're just going to hit them with cold water, right?
Yep.
Hi, Lily.
Hi.
Does it smell good in here?
Yes. It smells like.
What's it smell like?
I don't know.
Okay. Mommy's cooking?
Well, we have tomato.
Tomatoes.
Your favorite?
All right.
We got it for us.
Go ahead, Ray.
So I have these leftover tomatoes that we had just from the other day, so I figured use it for color, and why not? So I'm going to add in some butter into the pan. Some more of that little bit of that mixture of olive and vegetable oil, just a little bit. Until that melts. I'm going to add in this time, I'm going to add in the rest of that garlic. And once again, I have leftover onions. So I'm going to add in some of the leftover onion. And then I'm going to lightly saute the tomatoes. It's going to take a little bit longer because it's going to be added in with the green beans as well. So you just kind of swirl it around the pan. You don't want it to brown, but if you let it brown, that's okay too, because actually I love a brown butter. If you've seen our other video with the salmon, I love some brown butter.
And don't forget, if you like these videos, make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.
Yep, and if you have any questions, let us know. All right, so I'm going to add into the garlic, into the butter, and olive oil mixture. Just kind of toss that around for a couple minutes.
Oh God, that garlic smells so good.
All right, then you're going to add in the sliced onion. I thinly sliced it by hand. Just kind of toss it up for a few minutes, because once again, you don't want this to cook all the way completely, because I still have to add in the green beans right at the end, right before we plate up. Because the green beans, again, like I said, are already cooked. We just have to pretty much All right, so this is Dan's favorite. I decided to do scallops, and I got Dan today some salmon. So he scored it. It's actually for a couple reasons. You score it for the skin. So you kind of give air into the skin, so it also adds a crispiness to it. It also makes it cook faster, and when it's done, it actually looks really pretty with the little slit marks in there as well.
So when you do have skin on your fish, usually you want to start with your sear with skin side down.
And make sure when you're putting anything in the pan with oil, you put it away from you. Dan, show them.
Just like that.
Yeah. If not, it's going to splash on top. Yep. So you're going to sear the skins probably for about, what, three minutes?
Yeah, at least, like about 3 minutes. You can check it. And
usually it should come off is when you know, it should come off the pan. That's when you know that it's ready. And then when it's done searing on the one side, you put it on the flesh side down, and then you can throw it right in the oven just for a couple more minutes as well, depending on how you like your salmon cooked. You can have salmon medium rare, medium. Not many fish you can actually do that with, besides tuna.
That's a great point. Also, if you've never eaten the skin before, it's really delicious. So it's definitely worth trying. But you just want to try and get it nice and crispy. So if you see with the amount of heat that we're doing, we're just using a medium heat and coming up with temperature slowly to the fish. All right, just to give you an update on the salmon, you can always check the crispiness of the skin just as you're cooking it. Lift it up to see how it's looking, just to make sure you're not burning at all. The other thing is, if you can come in closer, you'll see the whiteness as the skin is, or as the fish is cooking, and you can use that as some sort of an indication when you're getting to temperature and you're about to do a flip.
All right, so the rice is done. So now I'm going to take the lid off and see what it looks like. Oh my God.
Wow,
that is such a, oh my God.
It smells so amazing.
It smells so good. So good. All right, so right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the cilantro. You don't want to mess up the rice, so what you do is I'm going to add in a little bit of the lime juice. Actually, all of it, why not? Lime juice, the cilantro. I love cilantro, I'm going to throw it all in there. And I'm going to have a little bit of salt and pepper. So when you add a little bit of salt, you have to understand that when you have an acid, it brings out that flavor of salt, so you don't want to add too much. So just a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. And I'm going to fluff it up with the fork. See how beautiful that is? Look at that.
Looks great.
All right, so it's going to be our base. So our cilantro, lime, ginger, jasmine rice. Simple, easy, smells great, and it's beautiful colors.
All right, so I checked the salmon. The skin's looking great. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over, and then we're going to put the pan in the oven and finish the fish in the oven.
Ooh, beautiful. See? Look how beautiful those marks are. Lovely.
Yeah, looks tasty.
Now it's time for the scallops. Just going to add some pepper. Cracked black pepper. And I'm going to do some Old Bay seasoning. Just a little bit, a little touch. Kind of pat it down because you want to make sure the flavor's in there. Flip it on the other side. Do the same thing. And meanwhile, our pan is getting nice and hot because you want it on a nice hot sear, just like we did with the salmon.
And again, we have the scallops laid out on paper towel. Just because scallops usually have moisture to them, this is going to dry them out and ensure to get a really nice sear on them.
Yes, if you ever watch Hell's Kitchen, you know what Gordon Ramsay likes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so now that the scallops are nice and ready, I'm going to add in that olive oil mixture, just a little bit. Kind of swirl it around. And again, you want it to have, so you see how it already is starting to get a little smoke point to it? You want to make sure that you see it actually has a little bit more of a smoke when it's coming out. That's when you know it's ready to put the scallops in. Okay, now I'm going to add in the scallops. Just kind of press it down just a little bit because you kind of want it to cook even. Sometimes they get a little, difference of shape. So I'm trying to press them down just a little bit. One, so they can get a nice sear. And two, just so they kind of hold it shake so it looks really nice on the plate when it's not kind of flopped over. But sometimes you can't really help that. So you're going to cook the scallops because they're all different sizes as well. You're going to cook them on each side probably for about 2 or 3 minutes at the most. So I'm going to sear it on one side. Once it gets a nice brown color, I'm going to turn it over, sear it for about another couple seconds, and throw it right in the oven. Because you also want the inside to get cooked. Again, this is also another type of fish that you do not have to cook all the way through. This has to have like a little bit of pink color because if you cook it all the way through, it's going to get rubbery, and that's not what you want. So since they're smaller, just going to cook them for a couple of minutes on each side. Throw them in the oven probably for another 2 or 3 minutes, and then that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the scallops, they cook so quick.
Yeah.
You don't want an overcooked scallop. A nice sear on there, and then finishing in the oven only takes a few minutes. That's why my wife basically waited to the last minute of the meal for plating to do this as the last step. Hey woman, my scallops ready?
There you go, scallops. Okay, now the scallops have been cooking for about 2 or 3 minutes. I'm going to turn them over, and you're going to see how nice and brown they are.
Oh my God, they smell delicious. Good job, Rave.
Thank you.
Raven. Ooh, baby. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12.
Don't be counting, you're gonna get none of these.
What?
This is the color that you want to get. Some of them, that one's beautiful.
Oh yeah, that's great.
All right, and I'm gonna throw them in the oven just for a few minutes. Same thing with the salmon. Okay, so now that I put the salmon and we have the scallops in the oven working for a couple minutes, I took out the tomatoes. So you see how they have a nice little split in them? So basically they're cooked. So I'm gonna heat it up just a little bit So you see, also has created some sort of a juice, which is going to be really good for our scallops and salmon dish. Now it's heated up. I'm going to add in the green beans.
Oh, that looks great.
So it's going to be really pretty color.
Oh, so pretty.
Kind of, oops, missed one. I'm not always good at that.
Ah, it's a small pan.
Yeah, it is small.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
So at this point, you could have had them salt and peppered already, if you would like. And I already did that.
There you go.
So you basically just want to be a little gentle, because you don't want to break too much of the tomatoes. You still want to try to keep them as whole as you can. Okay, so a couple flips. Basically, again, you're reheating, and you're done.